Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen around the world, wherever you are. Welcome to League of Tilt, where today we are the Hallowed Seamstress in the jungle. Gwen jungle has been a fringe pick around for a while. People tried to make her work in the jungle early on as well. But it's really recently, with a bunch of pro players busting her out in the jungle, that people have started to realize that, hang on, maybe she's not just super troll in the jungle. Maybe she's actually good. Maybe things aren't always meant to just stick in one lane. The reason Gwen can jungle is because of the empowered auto attacks on her E, her attack speed, true damage off of her passive, and on the center of her Q. All of those things combine together to make it so that she actually has decent damage in jungle creeps, and as soon as she get her Nashers, or just components of attack speed really are good enough, she just rampages through her, clearing her jungle. It's not the healthiest or fastest first clear, but it's also far from the worst first clear. You know, there are some champions who just like barely just rush to level 3 ASAP so that they can just stop farming and they can start fighting. Gwen's not like that. She can, her ganks are actually kind of weak. Ghost definitely helps. You can just run at people with your added mobility. It's actually fairly easy to make ganks work if you can find a good gank angle. But Gwen's strength is that she can flex into anything after her first clear. She can skirmish, she can team fight, she can become become a point of pressure for objectives. And as you can see, because of the max health damage on her passive, this really isn't anything to scoff at. We're going to smite the big Krug. That's the one that deals the damage anyways. And then we're going to come here. And then the more stacks you have of your passive from auto attacking, that's what the purple bars are, the more damage you do for your Q. Each snip deals a fixed amount of additional damage. And then of course your E is both an auto attack reset. Your E is both an auto attack reset and a dash. Also your E cooldown gets reduced. Also you can do that, right? You can Q and you can E. I Q'd a little early there because I was afraid it was going to run out. Unless you're planning to gank level 3, you don't really need to take W. You can just grab a second point in your Q for significantly better clear, so that's what we're going to do. I think we're just going to sequence upside for a full clear. Because we did Krugs, we're making this transformation over a little slowly, but it's alright. You want to try to make sure that when you're queuing, your Q is sort of as centered as possible, like so, right? See? Because the more things that you have in the central line of your Q, the more damage you're going to do to them. Because you're going to deal additional true damage and apply 1,000 cuts. Otherwise, you just deal the base damage on the ability. So it really is the center that deals all the damage you're looking for. As you can see, Gwen's not really a 6 camper. She's more of a 5 camper. 4 camp into gank or 5 camp clear before showing up for scuttle. Unfortunately, it does appear as though Seth tried to go for a very greedy dive. That didn't work out. We've got to also think about which lanes are gankable for us. Vex has a large amount of CC into a champion that has mobility, but it's crucial to remember that Vex stops mobility very effectively. We didn't run into anybody here. Looks like the mid laner tried to run bot side, but didn't lead to anything. Jinzhao has lethal tempo, so we will not be able to fight him. Lethal tempo is very strong in a melee 1v1. Conqueror is really sort of a stacking rune. Let's see if I can't dash it. That should have worked. If Renamir sticks around, I will go ahead and gank him, but I think Seth's going to be pushing, question mark? Okay, yeah, looks like he's just going to recall. Jinzhao's mid lane, so we're not going to bother. Vex looks like she's fine flashing out of there. It's just alright. We're going to grab a blasting wand and a pink and walk back to our jungle and keep clearing. We have a significant advantage over the Jinzhao now. It looks like they got to kill bot lane as well, which is fantastic. Cho'Gath can't do this because I mean, unless Vel'Koz gets hit by that, then he can grab the Vel'Koz. But so troll. The reason Cho'Gath, obviously, I said that he couldn't do this is because he doesn't have ulti, and without ulti he shouldn't really be able to one-shot people. So I was saying we need to think about sort of which lanes we're going to target once we start getting on the map a bit more, and really Vex's CC is good setup, but because Akshan can potentially just run the heck away, it might not be ideal, so really we're looking at bot lane. I believe you have damage, my friend. Same as Mobe. This is so passive aggressive. It's fine. You don't really need to use your W to jungle clear. Your W, the Hallowed Mist, creates a region in which you gain bonus armor and MR, and you cannot be targeted. I'll just walk up here, but there's no point. Alright. Oh, Vel'Koz roam. Excellent. So all I had to do there was just to make sure he doesn't run away before Vex gets there. As long as I can keep him there, we should have a very free kill. We've discovered a wild Xin Zhao. Gwen's ability to skirmish is one of the reasons she is such a powerful jungler, because you get so much free stats. My ghost came off a little too late there. I pressed it significantly earlier, but it just hadn't gone off until earlier. That's very unfortunate. If Akshan gets this kill, that would be quite sad. I think he will though. Yes. That's unfortunate. It's alright. We're gonna grab our dagger. I think we should have just taken the win once Xin Zhao was forced to flash and just walk away. That would have allowed the trade to remain good. As it was, we took a perfectly good situation and turned it bad for literally no good reason. Our bot lane is hard winning right now, and we've been pressuring the Xin Zhao. So our primary job is to make sure that our bot lane does not get shut down. Like, that is our entire job, because we still have very powerful skirmishing. Just need to make sure that if Xin Zhao or Akshan try to show up, that they don't have an easy time of ganking my bot lane. And also because it's Xin Zhao, there we go, there's the Akshan we were expecting, but he is by himself, and he does not have ulti. So I wonder... Okay. Okay. You do not gank my fed bot lane ganks you. Well, that was pretty funny, but it just does go to show the power of just knowing that something is going to happen. We were all aware that roam could happen. That's what allowed it to succeed, and now they're finally going to get shut down. I wonder if it might not have been worth my while to be there anyway because of exactly this play, but I assumed that once they had gotten so far ahead, they would not be hyper concerned with pushing even further, but it looks like they wanted to go for a kill on the Cho'Gath. Interesting. I have no reason to expect that this crab will be up, but I can go ahead and clear this ping. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Crab's not up. We don't fight here. We can just use our W. What are you... I can get out of here, so I just have to make sure that I'm dealing as much damage to him as possible. Akshan really can't be jumping in when I have my ulti. Gwen's ulti is a very powerful skirmishing tool. If Vex maintains this fight, like if Vex had kept on him because we had Vel'Koz roaming up, we definitely would have been able to take care of that. As it is, this is just very awkward, and now I can't look, and I definitely should have been buying components to my Nashers instead of just staring at what my teammates were doing like an utter baka. But it's fine. I thought Vel'Koz would be able to kite around that. Jhin should be able to get this here. Should be. Caitlyn walking back. I don't know about that one, Chief. Jhin does not have flash, and he wasn't damaged recently. Alright, it's fine. Also, as I say, your E cooldown does tend to reset after you auto attack it, after you land an auto attack or a snip. So auto attack there, kill all of that. Xin Zhao's getting a bunch of kills. I'm not thrilled about NGL. Gwen giving the real League of Legends advice. At this stage, it's relatively easy for Gwen to take both camps together because of all of this on her queue. Set has a massive wave pushing in. Wow, okay. That was unexpected, but I'm going to go ahead and grab this. In response, them trying to take Dragon wasn't unexpected, but Vel'Koz dying. I would have made this play anyway, but Vel'Koz getting the kill there is fantastic. Really, how did I not avoid that? If Akshan is coming towards me, I'll have plenty of advance warning thanks to the warding, but I don't think Akshan is. Yeah, he would have been going bot side. I just hate it when games become difficult for no good reason because people just keep over pushing. I wonder. Yep. Oh, what? That was so awkward. Oh my word. Oh. I played that terribly, of course, because I thought Seth had it for sure, and I stood near his Undying Rage for so long. But I really did think we had him earlier than he actually died, and that's very unfortunate. If she can at least get something off of this dive, but it looks like they're going to get away with murder. They had that was a very well coordinated dive on their part. I really should be playing around my bot lane a lot more. Looks like they'll be able to take care of the Akshan. And yeah, they split themselves up again. It's like Vex is not happy about the fact that she was told to play safe because she got dove. Right. Grab this. We just start sequencing upwards. I can't believe they tried to go for the bot lane again, and that bot lane shut them down again. This is a very strange game, trying to process what all the things that are happening. We already lost a top tower, so I'm going to sequence upwards, and then drop my Rift Herald bot lane. I don't think it makes sense to do anything for any other lane. I was starting to play with the mentality that like, hey, bot lane is taking care of themselves, so I'll just go everywhere else on the map, grab Herald, etc., etc. But I think I should have just said, you know what, screw it to the other sides of the map, let them fend for themselves as best as they can. I'll just protect Mr. President and work on bot lane. That's not very nice, so don't be doing that. I understand why he might be tilted, but just as I said, I'm not going to make any more plays topside. The Trinda seemed free, but I should have respected the fact that Jin Chao could have maybe been there, and he tries to all-in a Tryndamere with ulti, so this is just absolutely stupid. Jin will be alright here, hopefully. Vex coming in with her ulti. We should be good. Yeah, we should be getting a lot of kills here. Jin Chao wasn't there. This is fine. God, but this is unfortunate. Three auto attack based champions. We're gonna grab our plated steel caps and head back onto them. Yikes. I figured Seth and I can 2v1 the Tryndamere, but it's working out. This isn't really showcasing Gwen jungle very well. But you still should have been able to sort of see important thought processes and understand her clear and see what you can and cannot do. When I place this bot side, because it's going to run out if I don't. It should be back here though. By the time my bot lane's back. Oh, how did I miss that? Now Caitlyn, I can actually 1v1. Not only is she very far behind, She's also an ADC and I'm a jungler. She's a couple levels under me as well, so I can still keep exerting pressure. My job right now, given that laning phase is over, is to just focus down objectives, make sure that we're getting the dragons, that we're getting the Rift Heralds. That's really my entire life's purpose right now. Oh, somebody was here. Jinzhao was just here. Jinzhao was just here. Yeah, I can just walk away with my E, but it looks like I got knocked up in the middle of my E, which is which is strange to say the least. I wonder if I shouldn't. No, I shouldn't. I was saying I wonder if I shouldn't. Oh, he doesn't have Queen. Oh no, our Jin. We're okay. Curtain call. Just make sure that Jinzhao doesn't jump on him. As long as I can prevent Jinzhao from jumping on him, I'll have done my job. Yeah. And meantime, nobody actually went up to challenge the Rift Herald bot side. I got murdered by Gale Force on Tryndamere. Oh, Jin just flashed into a Trinda, but maybe he thought he could Gale Force. He should have flashed over this wall and walked on. Unfortunately, this turret did actually just fall. I mean, okay, it's good that the turret fell, but unfortunately nobody was there to pick up the gold. So we lost 600 gold there, which is sad, but we'll live, we'll recover. One of the good things about Gwen is that she has absolutely exceptional scaling. So even when you fall behind a bit like this, as long as you're pushing the map forward, keeping the lanes moving ahead, focusing down objectives like heralds, and taking turrets, and most importantly, keeping up in levels and farm, you'll still be alright. Set is challenging the Tryndamere, which I don't know about that one, Chief. My man has 2 completed items, and you have a grand total of half one. It's 4 times more items than he does. Ow. He's gonna want to take this Grump. Do I give it to him? It's fine. I am no one to claim this particular game that, hey, only I can have this, you can't have this, I'm the carry, because I'm not the carry. I'm no more or less behind than, say, the set is. But I have been playing slightly smarter than the set, I will say that. I don't know about this. I don't know about tackling the Jinzhao. I think he might be heading mid lane. Yeah, he's heading mid lane. I think he thought he pushed me off it, but he didn't. Not really. Alright. Oh! I could have sworn. How did that snip not land? Okay. Tryndamere had Undying Rage, so I couldn't really go in on that. Legendary Tryndamere is something I definitely don't love, but will perhaps be alright. If they can get this. I mean, it's just the 2 of them, so they really should be careful. Trinda will show up here. It's here. Caitlyn's here. Everybody and their mom's here. At least we got Shelly though. We have to go ahead down on bot side and keep track of and push out this wave, but it looks like Set's already on that, so we might have to go. Shield, man. Oh, that's hot. They needed to back off a long time earlier. We might still lose this because Jin is not a hyperscaling carry, and Tryndamere scaling is exceptional. I'm the primary scaling carry on our team, and I have been taking a decent amount of time to come online because I've not been fighting particularly well. I'm really behind because I've been focusing down the wrong lane, right? Like imagine when I'd been trying to gank Set and it failed horribly, or when I was trying to fight Jinzhao with my mid lane and it failed horribly. Imagine if I'd spent that time and resources fighting with my bot lane instead, then I would be significantly further ahead. But there should still be a good demonstration of how to play from behind. Like if I play smart now, if I start playing actually intelligently, instead of just being a bonobo. I thought he was going to come in there. I didn't realize he was going to bitch out. It's okay that he did bitch out. I don't really want to put a control ward here. Tryndamere is here. I thought we were going to defend. Okay. Good amount of poke on the Xin Zhao. Get Cho'Gath's Glacial Augment, that's very good. Gives us a window in which we can walk forward. ARAM, huh? I'm not ahead enough to just like brute force my way in and just say, okay, we're ARAMing, I'm gonna walk at them. Okay, walk back. We can collapse back on Xin Zhao. We just need to stick to it. Oh, Tryndamere just ran at me again, but it looks like his ulti ran out, so we should be able to win this now, assuming... No. I said that, it was like, assuming Vex managed to survive, but like the fact that we got one shot by Tryndamere was less than ideal. Ooh, okay. Got that flash, that's pretty good at least. Man. I really need to be more aware of my positioning in these fights, huh? It's just not great. It's funny. It's just not a great look when all my biggest contribution to fights is ulting once and then getting one shot by Tryndamere. Like, yes, that fight with the Xin Zhao was great, but I cannot just be thinking in terms of the fight with the Xin Zhao. I have to be thinking, okay, so if this Xin Zhao, if I'm chasing the Xin Zhao here, was the rest of the team, was the Tryndamere coming along? We really can't give away any more Drakes. We need to win that Drake fight very badly because this is Ocean Soul, and in sustained fights, which is where Gwen shines and which is where this game is going. Oof, like these long, prolonged fights, that's where Ocean Soul really shines. Looks like nobody's coming bot side to challenge me yet, so I'm just gonna keep pushing with this Rift Herald, force somebody to come answer me. And if nobody does come on to me, then so be it. But now I don't see anybody anymore on the map, so I have to assume that they might be heading my way. No. We see Tryndamere top, so there's a chance we should do this. Yeah. This is absolutely fantastic. There we go. Excellent. I just jumped in on that the moment I realized Tryndamere was topside. If I hadn't seen Tryndamere topside, I wouldn't have dared to go for this play. And then the Rift Herald bot distracted me. So what I was wondering is, should I go for the Xin Zhao? Xin Zhao is really the only threat. So we should be alright here because Akshan cannot jump into our team, but our base is under threat and we need to go cover that. So I'm going to recall here. My team should be able to hold this wave. My Rift Maker is complete. Jesus, bro. Might need to grab a Randuin's this rate. Pog Champ. Bludgeon, get that. Yeah, you should be alright. I just have to soak up the brunt of his damage and then walk away when I can look. Okay, sure. Nobody's KDL on the bot lanes is good, but I feel like I've at least been more useful than Set and Vex. Or at least I've been as useful as Vex. I can't say I've been more useful than Vex. That's a good Baron call. That's a great Baron call. They have a couple of key people dead. If Xin Zhao comes, we can definitely kill them. I have my ulti. I have Smite. This is not the fastest Baron take in the world, but it doesn't have to be. Their set is bot side. They shouldn't be in a position to contest this. Barons like this, like, they give me so much pleasure because I just, I love just good macro. And Barons like this always just, we're gonna grab this randomins because that much armor? You know, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Because they all have crit, so randomins is fine to go. Gonna need to grab a Bramble Vest there, that's for sure. Could also grab an Oblivion. 200 years? No. Ooh, Tarzan! Did he... I swear that 2 pieces sounds like to Jesus. Alright, Roots the Jhin. This is very interesting Q placement. Trinda has half HP, which is fantastic. This poke is less than fantastic. Attempted poke, I should say. Because Trinda can just dash away. Trinda has no ulti. What are you doing, my guy? I might not... Look, my KDA is not great, okay? But I am Gwen with Red Smite and 168 armor. You don't get to do that. I could have killed him 1v1 because he swung into me, so there's no chance for him to kite me. If Xin Zhao truly has flashed and ulted, then this should not be a concern. Because I still have my ulti and my Red Smite. I'm going to focus down the... Yeah, man. Gwen's skirmishing damage is something special. Look how far behind I am. And look how it just does not matter. I really hope they don't get the Jhin here. That would be a disaster, but I think Jhin can take care of himself. He's definitely demonstrated that in ample quantity. Ah. Oh, how did that be? Also, in case y'all are wondering how I managed to take so little damage from from this Xin Zhao despite him being so fed, it's because I have so much armor. Xin Zhao doesn't really have max HP damage or true damage, so armor really does cuck him very hard. This randomins should make it very hard for them to kill us as long as we just... What are you... Man, I'm not comfortable going under tower, and there's no point. They'll all be respawning. I don't want to do this. This is stupid. Akshan has an invisibility. He can have... he can sneak up behind us. I'm gonna leave Xin Zhao. No, my jungle Itemborn deals too much damage. I'm going to recall. If Vex dies here, Vex can die here. I don't really mind, but the speed up from the crab should be good. Okay, grab a Bramble Vest. What? You think I won't? You think I won't just frontline for this, for the chattest Jhin anyone has ever seen in their whole lives? Also, see what I was saying about how like I am still strong even if my KDA doesn't say it because I've been focusing on objectives and I've been keeping up with levels and gold. This bounty is unfortunate, but it's like they've realized that. Okay, stop stutter stepping. No. Oh. Let me grab this. Gwen does amazingly in front of teamfights like that. I just need to keep vision. There we go. Set gets that, and that should be all she wrote. Not the greatest demonstration of Gwen jungle utilized to her full potential, but a pretty bloody good demonstration of how Gwen can very much carry from behind. We have super minions coming up in all lanes, but the death timers are too long, it just won't matter. We're just being clinical, we're just taking literally everything on the map, not because we need to, but because we want to. We wish to crush the enemy under the heels of our boot. The heels of our collectives. There you go, the Hallowed Seamstress in the jungle. A garbage representation of how she can snowball and take over a game. Also a garbage demonstration of how to pick your fights and gank well. Jhin picking up the tab for our mistakes initially was definitely very, very good. And then him continuing to perform well throughout the game was very good, because that's what allowed us to recover the losses elsewhere. Because Jhin is one strong lane. Generally in League, one strong lane, especially when it's sort of an utility-based ADC or a burst-based ADC like Jhin, is not going to be enough to carry by himself, especially when their other lanes are strong. It's like their bot lane was doing really badly, but their mid lane and their top lane were both becoming problems. Jhin wouldn't have been able to deal with, let's say, Trinamir's split push, and plus Akshan showing up places while Xin Zhao took objectives. Like, if say 3 people or 4 people show up to deal with just Jhin and Vel'Koz, and then everyone else isn't there, there's still a chance that they're just going to get jumped on and bursted down. But because Vex stuck around them and just provided some amount of CC, and because I continually kept cross-mapping and kept making sure that we were grabbing heralds, objectives, turret pushes, it made it much easier for the Jhin to carry, because he didn't have to be in all 3 lanes at once. He didn't have to be there for every single. Also, that Baron call was masterful. That was a very free Baron, but I'm generally hesitant to call for those Barons. Not because they're bad calls, but because I think they're absolutely fantastic calls. If you jump on them, you can really punish people who don't know that they should ward around objectives. But because I don't expect my team to follow up, and Gwen has a hard time, at least at this stage of the game, soloing down a Baron. But when Jhin and Vel'Koz kept pinging, and they recognized this Baron was doable, that was the moment I knew that if we just stayed focused, we were going to be able to carry this game. Like, look at the gold disparity between us and our 2 laners. If we don't have this level of gold disparity, if we don't deal the kind of damage that we dealt in those skirmishes against the Xin Zhao later on in jungle fights, then we wouldn't have been able to push forward the way we did. So even though we did literally the least damage on the team, slightly more damage than their bot lane, but we still did a massive amount of damage to objectives, and that focus on objectives is what allowed us to transition from Jin's very strong early mid game into a late game where we could still carry and win. So when you fall behind, don't give up, don't tilt, don't try to force ganks. Just keep up in farm, keep up in levels, make sure you're not falling behind the tempo of the game. You might fall behind, let's say, the enemy laner because he's getting fed, right? But don't fall behind where you should be according to the level and the XP lead of the game. And you do that by focusing on where minion waves are, sequencing your jungle camps properly, and just objective management. That's how you make sure you stay relevant even when you're behind. And even if we didn't have a hyper-fed carry, if we just had a carry that was holding their own, then we would have had a bigger role to play in these fights. And then we would have really had a chance to sort of show off our carry potential. But that thankfully was not necessary. Jhin was sufficiently fed that with just a little bit of help from us, was able to end up carrying that game. It's very well played to the Jhin. Very unfortunate game to the Xin Zhao. 9, 3, and 10, just not good enough. Because while his attempted ganks in the early game were fine, he had a very hard time jumping on us later on in the game. Every time he jumped on me, I could just deal with him. And whenever he tried to jump on one of our carries, Vex was there or I was there to provide cover. Jhin needs to get in range. Xin Zhao needs to get in range, and so he really needs somebody to hard engage. And for Gwen, once you're sufficiently strong, obviously you would like someone to hard engage, but you can still just like walk into the middle of their team, just throw out your ulti, because you heal back up so much from your 1000 cuts passive and from Conqueror and from Riftmaker, you can still make it work. So this is not a great example of Gwen jungle, but a good example of how to play from behind and of what mistakes to avoid. So hopefully you learned a lot from that game, or at least you learned a couple of cool, important things. Have a wonderful day. Until next time.